Hey there. Welcome back,
Uh,
Britt.
Hello, Tom.
Therapy Unzipped. We had a great episode last week on Friday the 13th, the seven easy habits that people who are happy, what they do on a regular basis, seven habits of happy people. So it got my brain going. I mean, as soon as you sent me that TikTok and I was listening to it and I was jotting the notes down for the show, it got my brain stirring that we've talked about some things, taking things a step further in
Hmm.
therapy. So I wanted to come up with some seven habits. This is like part two. This is the, you know, graduate degree version. These are some deeper concepts,
Right,
things that we've talked about in therapy. And I like how this list has compiled together. We kept with the number seven just because, I have seven.
right. So last week we did like the micro habits,
Yeah.
just very practical things that you can do that take just a few minutes every day. Seven habits that you can do, just taking a little bit of time that you can do that is scientifically proven to increase your happiness on a daily
Yeah.
basis. And today we're going to expand those. There's some definitely some overlap, but these are more conceptual things, things to strive for, things, goal attainment, things that we want to do in the long run.
Yeah, these not so much are habits, even though they are habitual. These are more qualities that one
Hmm.
strives to possess and enact in their lives. And the people who are happy engage in these things. We've
Right.
seen this in the rooms and being therapists and working with people who we've seen grow in positive directions. They strive and eventually engage in doing these things, adopting these things, demonstrating these qualities, and they are genuinely happy people. And you and I, we have worked on being able to do these things consistently and over
Mhm.
years and years and years. So this is sort of the therapist edition of the seven
Right.
habits of happy people.
And Tom, you and I, just like everybody else out there, are works in progress, and we've had, moments in our life that have not been our best, and we continue to grow and learn, and that's, we're all on our own journeys. So,
Yeah. These are a little bit heavier. These are not as easy to achieve. These take some work. So I'll also put them in the show notes, but please feel free to take notes and listen to the commentary and see
mhm.
where maybe you are doing these things, or maybe you could tweak some things in your life. Okay, here
Right.
we go.
And
Number
like
one.
one more statement. Like last week, we talked about the seven micro habits you can do every day. You should do those every day. The seven things we're going to talk about today, maybe take one and focus on that for like a month.
Okay, love it.
And really try to work on one of these at a time or two of
Yeah,
these at a time.
yeah,
These are, you cannot jump into all seven of these.
right.
Um, it's just not going to have the outcome you're looking for.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's perfect because these are a little bit, these are heavier
Yeah.
to do, and they definitely take some work. It's taken us years to be able to develop these things. So don't worry that you're not going to be able to accomplish all of these things in the next 2 weeks. It's just
Right.
not going to happen. But you can choose to focus on, as you said, just one of these over the next month. Keep
Yeah.
doing those atomic habits that you're
Yeah.
engaging in that we shared last week. But let's start working on these things. These are
Right.
qualities that we have seen demonstrated in us based on our work over the years for ourselves, but also in the clients that we serve who choose to enact these things. They're happy. Okay, number one,
Mhm.
people that are happy, they regulate themselves, their emotional state before they react. They regulate before they react. They pause, they breathe, they respond instead of exploding.
Mhm.
This is a challenging thing for a lot of people.
Very challenging. We all have that primary reaction to things. Like everything hits us, and we react to it. That is true for everybody. But the skill that we can develop is, instead of reacting, you want to respond, right? So
Right.
take a minute. You are not required to instantly respond. You are able to take a few minutes, and everybody knows this, that when somebody says, "Excuse me, what did you say?" or "Huh?" or "I didn't hear you," they usually have heard you most of the time. They need time to politely reflect and respond. And that's a trick you can use to do that, but you don't have to. When somebody asks you a question, you don't have to instantly fill in the dead space. You can say, like, that's a real interesting question.
Right.
You think about that for a second. Okay, well, and that has given you the time to pause, breathe, reflect, and then respond.
Yeah.
Because is
There's
that
a
really what you wanted to say when you just, react? Is that really what you wanted to say?
yeah. There's a habit in such a way, or maybe it's a conversation technique, definitely a therapeutic technique that we have utilized that a side effect of doing this creates some space, enables you
Mm-hmm.
to pause. And that is reflecting back to the person what they just said, but
Mm-hmm.
having to reframe it or use different language than how they said it. And
Mm-hmm.
then to ask for clarity to see if you got that right.
Right.
So here's what I'm hearing you say, and then you use your own words to say
Right.
what they said, but not repeating it verbally. And by
Right.
doing that, by engaging in that, not only does it assure that you have listened to them and heard them effectively, but also gives some period of time, space for you to choose your next or your follow-up response instead of
Mm-hmm.
just like, "Ah, I can't believe you said that,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Exactly.
So if you engage in that, repeating back to them what they said, but reframing it and using different language, that can create some space. Try that, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
challenging, but helpful.
Mm-hmm. And it gives you a clear understanding of what it is they're actually trying to say. Because it could be things get misinterpreted, not only in conversations, but particularly like in text and other kinds of things. So before you react, particularly as a keyboard warrior or even in person,
Yeah.
wait, are you asking me blah, 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 blah?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant at all.
Yes. Text messages, oh my God, they leave so much out. You have no idea, right? But you know
Right.
what? You don't have to respond to a text immediately, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you that automatically gives you space and time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to me how many people don't take the space and time. They just instantly react. Ah,
Right.
they're not even in your face.
Yeah. And the other thing is, why do we always expect the worst out of people? Right? I mean, been our experience? But we have these people, our friends and our family in our lives, and we expect the best from them.
Right,
But when sometimes they say things, we always go to the worst case scenario.
right.
Sometimes our brains trick us into that.
Yeah,
So, well, if for me, depending on the person, if it's a friend or a family member, and I'm like, get a text, and I'm like, that's a little weird. I mean, I could take that two ways. I'm gonna always go with the positive, right? I'm always gonna give them the grace.
yeah. And that's you choosing to regulate
Hmm.
you before you react.
Hmm. Now, if it
That's
develops a pattern, then that's something else that we will
yeah,
attend to.
yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Number two, they move their bodies consistently.
Uh,
Strength training, walking, yoga, they sweat. They treat movement as medicine. And
mhm.
we have advocated for this so much over the years and we will continue to. And even in those small little micro habits that you do, 10 minutes of active movement
Mhm.
per day, we move on a consistent basis. We
Mhm.
focus on, not just exercise training, but making sure that we're doing something for our physical health and wellness because that equates to our emotional health and wellness by moving our bodies and focusing on making sure we attend to that each day.
Mhm. And everything doesn't have to be exercise. It doesn't have to be at the gym. It doesn't have to be with training equipment. It doesn't have to be on a treadmill or an elliptical or a rowing machine. It's getting out and doing some gardening, mowing the grass, going for a walk, going to a museum and walking around.
Yeah.
You know, going fishing. I mean, anything where you're moving your body, cleaning,
Yeah.
right? People give me a hard time, like we have whole back of our house is sliding glass doors.
Yeah.
And, it'd be so much easier if you just used a squeegee. That's true, but
Okay.
I clean them by hand because I'm moving my arms, I'm squatting, I'm doing all kinds of stuff, and it takes a little bit more time and energy, yes, but
Yeah.
it's movement, and that movement is valuable.
Right, right, right. We're so conditioned to not only focus on the negative, but to get things done quicker, faster, more efficiently, with less energy, right?
Right.
And you know what? Doesn't even have to be that. Doesn't even have to
Yeah,
be that way. I mean, we're probably going to drive to the supermarket instead of walking there, but like if it was close enough, walking
right,
there might actually be something really good for you.
right,
I mean, we're not going to spend 3 hours walking to Publix, but
right.
that's
Here's
just
another example, right? So this is a weird example, but so I have two dogs. So my backyard has got little landmines everywhere, right? So once or twice a week, instead of getting a pooper scooper or shovel and making it really easy, I go out there with a glove and a bag and I pick it up.
yeah,
But I'm walking and I'm bending and
yeah.
constantly bending over and putting some different energy into it. It's not as efficient as possible, but I'm moving my body, and I choose
Every
to.
little bit counts.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So make life into moving your body and
Yeah.
not finding the most efficient way to do it all the time.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes
I
you
mean, you could do like what George Carlin said is you put rubber bands in the dog's food, and then when they crap, you just have a little loop, just pick it up and
yeah,
woo, fling it into the neighbor's yard.
yeah. Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Number
The
three,
next one, they protect their energy,
they
right?
protect their energy. They set boundaries. They say no. They avoid unnecessary drama.
Right. Big
Ah,
one. Big one, right? Protecting your energy, being able to say no. And Tom, you and I have struggled with this one consistently.
big time.
My professional journey has been I do lots of things, and people ask me to do this and do that and volunteer for this. And can I just organize that? And how about would you be the presenter at this? And I always say yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
And then I have so much on my plate, I get angry and aggravated that I have not set boundaries, and my life, or my energy is depleted, my happiness is down, and I just tip the plate over and I quit everything. I
Yeah.
say no to everything except for
Yeah.
what exactly I have to. But I've learned over time. I've had to do that. I mean, I've was on three boards and did this and that and worked full time and whatever. And finally, I just would quit everything.
Yeah.
After my term
Yeah.
is up, I'm done and I'm not doing anything. And then
We have to
slowly
get good.
add it
We
all
have to
back.
get much better at conserving our energy. You ever
Mhm.
have it at like midday, like 2:30, all of a sudden your phone says you're on 20% battery power and you're like, what happened? Oh, so you close out all the pages that are running in the background, all the apps and stuff. You try to conserve energy. We need to be doing this for ourselves. You wake up, you want to be at 100%, but you get depleted very, very quickly. Just like if your devices are running all these different things, like we're not constantly plugged in because to like an energy source, right? Like,
Right?
so we're being depleted, as each minute ticks down, more of our energy is being zapped. So we have to find ways to conserve
Mm-hmm.
that. And some ways in which people do this, setting boundaries, saying no, staying away from gossip and drama and as much as we can.
Absolutely. I had to change my mindset. My mindset used to be, I'll start with a yes and I'll figure it out from there. And now I'm like, I always start with a no and then I'll reconsider maybe.
Right, right. Mhm.
So, but you're right, conserving your energy because what is it you want to spend your energy on,
Yeah.
right? I have a lot of things I want to do in my personal life as opposed to my professional life. And I'm not saying yes to everything because I want to do the things that are important to me personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Number four.
number four, was that good? Are we
That was
good? All right.
fantastic. I loved
Number
it.
four, they invest in one or two deep relationships,
Mhm.
depth over quality, real connection over social noise.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Right. I've got 5 million friends on TikTok, right? Are they
right. Could you pick them out of a lineup? I know.
No.
My favorite analogy for this is you go look up Tyler Perry or Medea's view, friendship or relationships on a tree, right? So just Google that, something will come up. And, Tyler Perry will do this much better than me, but essentially, people in your life are going to fall into three categories: leaves, branches, and roots. Everyone is a part of a tree. Leaves are supposed to be there for a season. They blow in, they blow out, right? As soon as they're just there, supposed to be there temporarily
Yeah.
for a short span in your life. And most people in your lifetime will be leaves, just like a tree.
Yeah.
The branches are the tough ones. The branches are the ones that are there and they're sturdy, so much more sturdy than others. And
Yeah.
the branches are the ones that you lean out on sometimes. And branches can't hold on forever, so branches break. And that's where the people struggle with relationships the most is they lean out on people and people let them down.
Mhm.
But they're branches.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'll come back to branches. But then there's roots, right? The roots are going to be there no matter what. They're holding the tree up. No matter what happens, they are always going to be there for you. And if
Yes.
you have two or three roots in your life, you're a very fortunate person,
Yeah.
right? But so most people are leaves, but then the branches are the disappointments in our life. The roots we can count on. We don't have to worry about roots. Leaves are leaves. That's who they are. They're supposed to be there for a short period of time. But branches are people that we want to be roots and are just born to be branches.
Right.
And if you lead out on them too much, they're going to break. Right. So don't be mad at branches because they're branches. That's who they were born to be.
Yes. So we want you to invest more of your time and energy on the roots, on those
Definitely.
deep connections.
Hmm.
And that might just be one or two people.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Right. Well, if you're trying to maintain 12 roots, you got a problem.
Yeah.
You
Can't.
think you're thinking branches are roots and they're not.
Yeah. In impossible.
It's
Cannot be
just
done.
not possible.
We just
Right.
don't have enough time or energy to be able to do that.
Yeah. So that's great. Investing in one or two deep relationships.
Right.
Focus on them roots. It's
Yeah.
okay. Branches are great. Branches are great people. Leaves are great people. They serve their purpose. But don't be
Absolutely.
mad at them because that's who they're supposed to be in your life.
Keep that in check.
Hmm.
Number five.
It's funny when I have a thing in my life, I'm like, oh, branch.
Oh, Branch.
I see you, branch.
Steve Branch. You just call him by Branch. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Number five, of happy people, habits of
Mm.
happy people, or qualities of people that are really happy. Therapy edition is they intentionally do hard things, difficult.
Oh,
They build
but
self-trust in
Tom,
themselves
it's
by,
so hard.
but by doing difficult things, by taking on challenges yourself, it creates trust in yourself, and you feel a sense of pride in your accomplishments, even if you failed, then you have data and you've learned, well, I need to improve that thing about myself by consistently engaging and do it. Because I mean, when we challenge ourselves, that's when we actually grow. We don't grow when we're comfortable, Brett.
Hmm. That's true.
We need comfort for sure, but we're not improving if we
Right.
don't challenge ourselves. So we have to intentionally do very difficult things to challenge
Yeah.
ourselves. And they don't have to be like, skydiving or,
Right.
rock climbing or something. And it could be, just learning something new. Hey, learning a new language,
Hmm.
Mm.
Definitely.
Learning
I'm
an
on
instrument.
like 600 days of Duolingo. I have
Yeah.
600 days of Spanish and about 500 days on Italian.
Yeah.
Now, I'm still not very good, but I caught half of what Bad Bunny said.
Well, by doing difficult things, it enables you to trust and rely upon yourself.
Hmm.
Talked about those branches before and how when you lean on those branches, they have a tendency to break. You can't trust or rely on those. You can on the roots, but I want you to be your own like source of strength and resilience where you can rely upon yourself and seeing yourself through difficult tasks, doing challenging things on purpose, that builds self-efficacy,
Hmm.
self-trust, and your ability to rely upon you. No matter what, long as you're with yourself, you'll be okay.
Mhm.
You'll power through.
Here's a great example. As a big man, I running is awful, right? So I've never enjoyed running. I was an athlete as a young kid and I ran and I hated it back then, right? And so not a fan of running, but I challenged myself that I was going to run a 5K and do it well, right? And not just, roll across the finish line.
Hmm.
So I invested in a running program and I started with walking and then I worked my way up and then I would run short periods of time. And I actually did it well and ran a 5K with my kids years ago. That was fun. But part of that training program is I would run a mile or two, a mile every day, Monday through Friday. And Saturday morning, I did a 5K every Saturday morning. And I did that for months, 3, 4 months leading up to this 5K. As soon as the 5K was over, I went back to walking because I hate running, but I did it. I challenged myself for hard things and I did it. Didn't like it, didn't want to really do it, but I set myself a goal and I did it.
Yeah. You accomplished that. It was a
Hmm.
challenging thing, and then you figured out that you could rely upon yourself to see through difficult things. And it's
Hmm.
amazing. And that leads to you being happy.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Huzzah. Hmm.
So do hard things on purpose. Set yourself a hard goal and do it.
Mhm.
Number 6.
Number six, they accept what they cannot control.
Absolutely.
I mean, I go back to the serenity prayer because I feel like that's just like
Right.
a perfect, succinct thing, that there are so many things that are outside of our control. And we have so much, tremendous amounts of stress and anxiety trying to
Hmm.
manipulate and control or force, manhandle those things that we cannot control and try to gain some semblance of control over those things. And it's futile. So people that are really happy, they accept that there are things that I cannot control, and I'm going to focus on the things that I can control, on
Hmm.
my effort, on my attitude, on my integrity, and not so much about outcomes.
Right. We see a lot of people in significant distress because of some of the things going on in the world, right? They cannot keep the outside noise at bay. And that goes back to they're trying to control things that are out of their control.
Mhm.
The world is what it is. It's always been doing things that we don't like, but we cannot control a lot of those things. But what can you control, right? I can't control how the world's behaving, acting, doing whatever, but let's see what is in my control. I can
Yeah.
consume information, stay informed about things that are important to me. I can vote. I can share information with people that want to receive information. So,
Yeah.
what can I do? What is in my control? And then what's out of my control? I can't, I have to let that go.
You have to let it go.
I don't
I
have to like
cannot.
it. I don't have to accept it. I don't have to any of those things.
Yeah. You don't have to agree with it. That's just what it is. I can't change others, but I can change me.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the big one that ties it all together, just like
Mhm.
number seven in the undergrad level course, which was last week. This is the graduate level course. Number seven that ties all these things together is that people who are genuinely happy, one of their biggest habits that makes all the others work really well is that they live with meaning and purpose.
Mhm.
They
As
create meaning
opposed.
in their lives. It's not just chasing things that feel good. It's
Mhm.
it's finding or creating, having meaning and purpose in your lives. And this is probably the number one thing that I want desperately to move all of my clients to
Mhm.
is to eventually find meaning or create that for themselves in their
Mhm.
lives. If you can do that, that is one of the most powerful things. We all want to
Mhm.
know the answer to this question. What does it all mean? What's the
Right.
purpose? Well, you create that purpose.
Mhm.
You decide.
Tom, I ask every person that I work with this one so simple question, and it is the most confusing question for most people. And the thing is what brings you joy?
Yeah.
What? What brings you joy?
Yeah.
My family. Okay, well, that's good. Your family brings you joy. What brings you joy? What is it that you want to do? Why do you work so hard? Why do you go to work every day? Why do you do all the things that you have to? You have a whole list of have tos. What are the want tos? What brings you joy in your life? Sitting in front of the TV. Okay.
That
Okay.
gives you dopamine, or that's your
Right.
brain
But
release
let's
dopamine.
try to deepen that. What brings you joy?
Yeah.
Is it reading? Is it gardening? Is it for me it's there's a lot of things, but for me it's motorcycles, man. I need breeze on my knees. I need wind therapy. I
Yeah.
love just getting out there on a motorcycle. That brings me joy.
Yes. If you need a place to start with creating and or finding meaning and purpose in your life, do one or all of these three things in some form or fashion. One, contribute. Two, build. And three, serve somehow. If you need
Absolutely.
a place to start, do
Hmm.
one or all of those.
Yeah.
See if you don't start inherently finding some purpose and meaning in your life.
All right.
Contribute to somehow, contribute
Hmm.
to others, to society, contribute some knowledge or some fun videos to social media,
All
build
right.
something, whether you build a program or whether you build a bookcase, and serve others somehow. Find a way to serve, whether you volunteer somewhere, at a soup kitchen or at an animal
Hmm.
shelter, or you just, stay and hold the door for people at a shop for, like a
Hmm.
couple of minutes. A bunch of people are going in, you just hold the door. How many times have you done that? Insert dad joke there. I hope they're paying you for that if you're holding the door for a bunch of people walking in to like the Cracker Barrel or something. Anyway, so contribute, build, or serve. Anyway, so that's all seven of those. That's the graduate edition. The
All
grad.
right. So let's review those seven habits of happy people.
Mhm.
They regulate before they react. Number one. Number two, they move their bodies consistently. Number three, they protect their energy. Number four, they invest in one or two deep relationships. Number five, they do hard things on purpose. Number six, they accept what they cannot control. And number seven, they create meaning, not just trace pleasure.
Yes. So these can be more challenging. They will take you some time to do. So pick one, try it out for the next 30 days. Focus on that while you're doing your other seven micro habits, those little daily
Absolutely.
habits that we talked about last week.
Awesome.
If
Well, that
you
was
want to
fun,
find,
Tom.
if you want to be a happy person, you do all 14 of these things and
Yeah.
it just comes. Notice we didn't say anything about looks or aesthetics, power and control, money. None of that factors in to any of
No,
these, to
that's really
happiness.
that. When they do happiness studies, it has nothing to do with money, status, cars, jobs. Those things don't bring us happiness.
Correct.
Yes, you have to have enough money to survive for sure.
Yeah.
But outside of basic survival, more money does not bring you happiness. In fact, many times, the more money you have, the more stress you have.
Right.
So,
So invest time and energy into those 14 things that we shared. Seven today, seven last week. Do those. They're not going to cost you anything,
no,
right?
absolutely.
There's no subscriptions for those.
Free o charge.
Yeah. Mhm.
You mean free, 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 free?
Free, 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 free. Yeah. Yeah. Free. You can do those. And you can do those now. At least those first seven. But these
All
ones, they
right.
take some time. But you know what? You may already have a leg up. You may have been kind of working
All right.
unconsciously on these things.
And okay, so last week we said do these 7 things every day, start now.
Mhm.
What I would love people to do and hear from on these 7 things, write them down, give yourself a grade, A to F, 1 to 10, however you want to grade yourself. Where are you at with these 7 things in your life?
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Right. So grade yourself. This is where I think I'm at right now. And then, you don't have to work on them all. That's tough, but pick one that's important to you and come up with 3 things you can do to just move the needle, right?
Yeah.
How can I, if I rate myself a 5 out of 10 on moving my body
Yeah.
consistently, what can I do to move from a 5 to a 6? What are 3 things I can do just to start moving the needle?
Yeah. Or from a C to a B plus,
Ooh,
right?
yeah.
Whatever. Some people like numbers, some people like letters, whatever works for
Mm-hmm.
you. Yeah. Some
Us
people have a
parents,
harder
let's
time.
do
There's too many digits in 1 through 10. So I'll go A, B,
one
C,
through
D,
five.
F. I'll give a
Right?
grade. I like the
Yeah, or
grades.
1 through 5. Whatever skill you want to create is
Yeah.
fine.
Yep.
Perfect. So it's progress, not perfection. You don't expect to go, get all A's. I mean, that would be the ultimate, but pretty unrealistic. So try
And
to
if
just
you
move the
miss
needle.
one of those habits, the per day,
Mhm.
small habits, you miss one of those, don't beat yourself up. And if you've worked hard on one of these more graduate level ones and it's been going really well, and then you backslide, don't beat yourself up over it. It's
All
okay.
right.
Seek to give.
Progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Would love to hear what you think about the 7 micro habits, atomic habits, and the 7 conceptual things. We'd love to hear your comments. We'd love to hear where you're at, what your goals are, what you're doing, anything.
Yeah.
Questions at therapyunzip.com. Let us know what you think.
Fire them over to us. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, Tom. Always my pleasure.
Mhm. Well, have an amazing rest of the week. Great weekend. We'll see you guys next week on Therapy Unzipped.
All right.